All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Carvel Community Meeting. Today's date is February 28th, 2024. If you are watching this recording from home, we encourage you to come join us live. We meet every second and fourth Wednesday of the month at 8 a.m. Pacific time. It's a good opportunity for you to come and meet other members of the community in Carvel. You can meet the maintainers, listen in on what the team is working on, provide feedback, ask questions. You can also just sit and listen. You don't have to engage if that's not your thing either, but we would love to have you come join us and meet everyone. For those that are on the call today and you do have something you want to discuss with the team, just bring that down to the discussion topic section and we'll get to it towards the end of the meeting. If you can't join us live and you still have things you want to ask the team, you can find us in the Carvel channel in the Kubernetes Slack workspace. You can email us. You can find us in GitHub within any of our project repos, and you can find us on X at Carvel_dev. And at any point you're interacting with us or other members of the community, we ask that you please read and abide by our code of conduct. And I put this out in every meeting, and I just would really appreciate it if you are using the Carvel tools, you add a comment to this pinned issue that asks for some details on how you're using the Carvel tools, the organization that you represent, link to your website, country, like your use case scenario for using any of the Carvel tools, and then adding a PNG version of your logo to the comment. That's not required, but we would love to have it and add it to our adopters file. This helps people see how others are using the Carvel tools, and so that they in turn understand how they too can use them. And it also helps the maintainers look at how folks are using them, and it helps them in their development process. And then they can also reach out for more questions and get kind of more details on how you use them. And then the logo on the doctor's file just helps us as a project show others that that other companies they have confidence in us, and so others will be more apt to use Carvel tools. So we would really appreciate it if you could fill this out, and if you have any questions, let us know. Okay, for all those that are on the call today, just make sure to add your name to the attendees list here in the agenda. It's optional, but we would just like to keep track of who all is attending the meetings. And then moving on to announcements, we had a few releases happen. So who wants to go over the vendor one, 0.40.0?
Yeah, I can go, Nancy. Okay, so the changes first is the fix code generation. This is like done by Jaw. That is like we have changed the module name, and after that the code generation pass was not updated, so that changes has been done here. And then second is the force uses of basic. Here we have introduced a new flag in this part to enable or force vendor to use basic authentication based on basic authentication over NTLM. So as of now, default NTLM authentication it was going on. So we just added a flag to choose whatever we want. Third one, enforce timeout. So this is like when from the registry we are trying to sync large number of file, it was taking a time or getting hung. So it's like again we are adding a flag to set some timeout so that we can get a response within some timeout, either error or maybe we can get the response, success response. Normalizing path provided in the configuration file. So this is like as of now vendor, for example, if you are giving the path like //, it was considering all these as 3 different paths. So after this changes, it will be considered as a same path. So that fix has been done here. And do not allow overlapping paths. So yes, uh, earlier when we are adding a overlapping path to manage, then vendor was just like removing the first part, and just as output we were getting the second, whatever the last path that was being given, that was like confusing for user. So after this change, we will get the error if we have a configure some overlapping path. So the user will get error like this configuration is wrong. So these all the fix has been done, and thanks Alex and Joe for all these changes.
Right. Thank you for going over that. Any questions or comments on this release? All right. And then we got a couple for image package. Who can go over these?
I can go for it.
Okay.
So maybe let's go for 41. So they were like released very like quickly, one after the other. But 41 basically makes 2 big changes. One of them is that image package was not able to pull, for example, an image that was an Helm chart, for example, because of the way the images are produced, they do not have diff ID on them. So there are some cases where this happens, and one of them is on Helm charts. So basically, we made a fix to allow this to happen and to pull it down. So now you are able to play around with your Helm charts images with image package. The second change here is that when you're pulling down a bundle, if for some reason the OCI image contained the operating system, because some builders, when they build the OCI image that are being passed around, they provide the OS layer to it. Sometimes it brought symlinks and other types of files that when they were being decompressed into your disk, it would fail out. So we fixed that by just completely ignoring them, so they will not be present when you pull it. And that way, we make sure that it doesn't error out. And then there was just some update on dependencies. So for 41, we found out that there was like an issue with the describe command, where if in the same bundle there were 2 references to the same image from 2 different registries, then describe would fail. So, and this basically just fixes that.
This is on copy command, Joe.
So copy command, sorry, copy command.
Yeah.
Was it not describe as well?
Mm.
No, the describe is going to be
Different.
042. It's going to be 042. There you go. All right, so these were the changes for image package. Does anyone have any questions? That's
Okay.
great. Like, awesome presenter. Let's clap for him. Yep, there you go. All right, let's talk about Carvel now. Strangely enough, exactly the same versions. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. So let's go with that. So 40. So this release has commits that are pretty old. Like we hadn't released Carvel in some time, it looks like, or we didn't merge like all the PRs in some time. So so for example, like there's a deprecation on a library that was a PR that was in for like 3 months or something like that, and we didn't merge it, but we merged it now. It's there. So Test Will, thank you very much for your contribution here. It was your first contribution, so thank you very much for it. Can you just like the second one? It's an interesting one. So there's a fix that was implemented in Match Package, but was never copied here. That was Kbuild. Every time that it tries to resolve any image, it goes to the registry to find out what is the SHA for that particular image, and it did that with a GET request. The problem is that Docker Hub now has a very strict policy on how many GET requests you can do. So we were starving the free accounts, the free GET requests that we have with Kbuild. So thanks to, can you just overwrite that name there? Okay, so Wacky, thank you so much for your contribution where you change the GET requests into a head request. That way, Docker Hub is not going to complain anymore. So thank you for your first contribution again. And that was great. So the last one, I did the hard work of changing an error message. I changed the text there. That was me. Yes. All right. So that's 40. So does anybody have a question? Great. 41.
Question.
Go for it.
So head doesn't count for the
Nope.
for the rate limit?
No,
Okay.
it doesn't.
Nice to know. Okay.
So you can just do heads on Docker Hub and it's going to be fine.
Okay.
All right. 41. Oh, so any other question about 40? Great. So 41, it was released just like 1 minute after 40, right? Why was that? So we wanted to change, we've been changing all our tools to use our nice carvel.dev links to change the modules. And that's basically what we have here. So listen up, if you're using Kbuild as a library, starting on version 041.0, the module name changed. So if you're using it, please look carefully because something might break in your compilation, right? So very careful, breaking change if you're using Kbuild as an API. And thanks to Prashant for that contribution there. So thank you very much. Once again, this contribution has been made like a month or 2 months ago, and it was merged right now because we're waiting for release to merge this in. So thank you so much for everybody's contribution. This round, like this community meeting, we had a lot of new contributions and contributions from the community. It was pretty good. So thank you all for helping us out, getting Carvel better every day. To you, Nancy.
Yes, thank you to everyone who has helped us out. It's greatly appreciated. Okay, any questions on any of those releases before we move on? All right, moving on to status updates, what's being worked on. We did update the project roadmap, thanks to Renew for getting everything cleaned up there. Do we have someone who can talk about where we are at with these two items on the roadmap?
I can give it a go. So there's no changes on the release package repository at the top. So still in the same state as we were a couple of weeks back. For the dependency management, we are chugging along, writing our proposal. Things are going good. We don't have a date yet for the proposal to come out. We hope that we can have the proposal out soon-ish so that we can start discussing how dependency management will work with kapp-controller. But those are like our main two features that we are planning on to for the next, for these 2 quarters. And when I say the main two topics, doesn't mean that those are the only things that we'll be working on, but these are like the big, let's call it like the big meaty topics that we've been working on and will continue working on the next, in this quarter and the next quarter. So basically that's more or less where we are in terms of roadmap. Anybody has any question, just let us know.
Cool. Thanks, Joelle. Okay, we got one item put in here for the backlog stuff. Cap Bryce's new proposal. So if you are in the Carvel sectional in the Kubernetes Slack workspace, you will have seen that Bryce Palmer, who works at Red Hat and on Operator Framework, he has been kind of helping us out with different things, and this is the latest proposal. Samek, do you want to speak more on
Yeah.
this?
So Bryce recently worked on adding some pre-flight checks, and these checks were around ensuring that we have permissions to do what we want to do before even Cap tries to start creating resources, right? And this is like sort of an extension to the same feature where we are adding another optional check, which sort of checks for safe CRD migration and sort of validates that we are doing certain things safely while dealing with CRDs. And yeah, so this is sort of top of our list on the Cap side to sort of go through this and review this. And I guess the second point on Cap is just that the initial work for pre-flight checks has been done. And I just thought I'd call out that last meeting, we were just like starting to review it, and now it's merged and documented. So thanks to Bryce for very like actively following through on it.
Yeah, that whole team has been such a huge, I don't know, they've just been helping us so much and adding so many different things to the tools. It's really cool to see, and thanks, huge thanks to all of them. So I guess if anybody has any comments and wants to review the proposal as well, you're free to do that and add your own comments and feedback. Any questions from the team that's on the call today? Okay. And anything else we need to discuss?
I didn't add anything on the topics, on discussion topics. So I started something like a work like I don't know, like 2 years ago or something like that, to try to move everybody into teams inside our GitHub work. And I just would like to give you all heads up that I'm going to remove the team that has everybody on it, that gives like full permission to everybody. Okay, so that's going to happen somewhere this week. So let me know if there's any kind of change that needs to happen in terms of like how I mapped everybody into the new teams that were created. Okay, so please be on the lookout for that. Okay, and like one thing that I did, and I was waiting also some time for this to go, is that individual folks had individual permissions on individual repos, and that doesn't exist for some time. And I wanted to make sure that that was okay, that there was nothing that was happening, any kind of like GitHub action or something like that, that was allowing, that was like piggybacking on that. And since we didn't have like any problem, I think we're in a good spot right now. And I think we can just completely just remove the previous structure that we had and just use the new structure as well. So that's just something like something that will happen this week, just to let you all know.
Okay, thanks, Joao. Any questions on that? Okay. Well, I guess that'll do it for this week's community meeting. Thank you everyone for joining us today. And thanks to all those who have contributed to the project. I really, really appreciate all the hard work and effort we've been seeing from the community. It's super, super helpful. And for those that are again watching this from home and you want to come join us and participate, we would love to have you. We meet every second and fourth Wednesday of the month at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And with that, everyone enjoy the rest of your evening or day, wherever you are. And we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.